Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica Galea, and I have with me Dr. Ivan Tabone, the Registrar General of the Malta Ship Registry. Today is a very special day for us because it's the first podcast of Maritime Legal on Yachting International Radio. And being a Yachting International Radio, thought why not pick a topic which is very close to my heart, and that is the importance of a solid maritime jurisdiction like Malta. And an interview with the Registrar General like Ivan was appropriate to answer a few questions which many have about flag and to see how important a flag is in taking certain decisions in yachting. First, I want to hear a bit about Ivan and his life and how he has got to this position. Just as a background, Ivan and I did the law course together at the University of Malta, so I've known Ivan for quite some years now. And I'm really proud to see him in this position, which is such a prestigious position in Malta as one of the most reputable flag and port states in the world. Hi, Ivan.
Hello, and thank you very much. So, a little bit about myself. Well, my name is Ivan Tabone. I'm a lawyer by profession, like you said, specialized in international maritime law. I've been engaged with the Malta Ship Registry for the past 17 years now, which is quite some time. Started my career in the seafarer department where I was exactly engaged upon the approval of the Manila amendments to the STCW Convention. And I was tasked with basically ensuring that Malta gets up to speed and in line with all the provisions that the convention, the Manila amendments, and the amended STCW Convention brought in. So that's how it all started. Then, of course, we expanded onto other things, of course, because then I also got hold of MLC, which in a way is also it's a very important convention, and it supports in a way also what STCW does. So STCW basically is taking care of the training and certification of seafarers, and MLC is taking care of welfare. So then, of course, internally we created the seafarer department. During the years, there was also a vacancy for deputy chief officer, which I was promoted to. And that meant shadowing the chief officer, that is the head of the registry. And I did that for 7 years until the post became vacant. And then it was sort of the natural progression to take over the reins, if you want, of the Malta Ship Registry. And here I am. Of course, it wasn't an easy task filling in the shoes of my predecessors, who did a fantastic job. When one considers that is Europe's largest flag, sixth in the world in terms of gross tonnage, and one of the world's largest registries. So it's quite a chunk to bite.
Indeed.
But here we are.
Here we are. So really, for me, something that you mentioned and that really stands out is your wish to really continue enhancing our laws that protect the seafarer, because ultimately the seafarer really plays a very important role aboard any vessel, whether it's a yacht or a merchant going ship. And can you, since this is a legal podcast, I'd just like to have an idea how our laws now have implemented certain international standards, really seeking to protect the seafarer as an example, because I really wish to highlight how important it is to the flag that seafarers are given prime protection.
Okay, so let's take this from a different angle. So any yacht owner or ship owner, of course, would be interested to have a solid backing.
Indeed.
So, and that is, I think, one of the main points to consider when one is choosing a flag.
Yes.
Now, why Malta? First of all, Malta is a member state of the European Union. So you're talking about a flag that is directly controlled by a government member state of the EU. Therefore, apart from being also a member of the IMO, being a council member of the IMO, very active in both
Yes.
fora, in IMO and in the EU. So we not only participate, we are proactive, and therefore the ship owner knows that he or she has a voice within these international fora.
Yes.
Now, our legal structure, so the legal framework that has placed Malta where it is today, has been drafted or crafted or built, first of all, with the interests of, I would say, the three major stakeholders in the sector, which are the ship owner or the vessel owner, the financier, and also the seafarer. So when you have a solid legal framework that protects those three major stakeholders, then I think that would be a formula for success. And I would stress that this was in the case of Malta, because we were always protecting these three stakeholders, whatever we do. And when one sees what we have done throughout the years, of course, Malta has ratified all the major conventions and has implemented all those laws
Yes.
to protect the ship owner, the financier, and the seafarer. And on many occasions, we have also gone beyond what is required by the convention, because the convention usually gives you the minimum
Yes.
level.
Indeed.
So when you go beyond, that shows that we have certain interests at heart.
Yes. A really serious jurisdiction. I always notice this in my everyday work. So it's something I appreciate, and you really explain this well.
One of the let's say major challenges that we face every day is the balancing act that one has to do on a daily basis. And this balancing act is between remaining competitive, yet being compliant. So any decision that is taken has to keep those two sides in mind. Am I competitive?
Yes.
And am I compliant?
Yes. Because you do have owners saying too many laws. No, I'm not interested. But at the same time, I do find, and I do promote this all the time for this reason, I advise owners day to day. And one of the main things is, do you want a serious flag? With a serious flag, you have peace of mind. So don't worry about laws, because laws apply to every flag. Every flag needs to respect laws. When you see certain standards like Malta sets, those are there to show you what a serious flag it is, and you have peace of mind that if there's any issue, whether you are an owner or you're dealing with an issue that has arisen because of a crew member, or your financier is interested in knowing you are opting for a reputable flag, the legal framework Malta has is so solid that you really definitely know you have chosen well there. And I see this every day, as I said, because one thing I say, don't be afraid of too many laws, because there's no such thing as too many laws. It's just showing a serious jurisdiction. But one thing I want to tell you on the subjects of seafarers and protection. Do you have any plans in the pipeline besides having the MLC and STCW standards implemented into our laws? I know that in May 24, the IMO approved amendments to the STCW code to combat and reduce violence and harassment within the maritime industry. These amendments should enter into force in January 26. What does Malta plan in this respect, Ivan?
So, with regards to amending our existing legislation, of course, we are always, let's say, on the ball to ensure that any amendments that come into the convention or the ancillary code are also implemented into Maltese law.
Yes.
So basically, any amendments that come in need also to come in into our laws. Although we do have a blanket provision in our law that basically is taking, so we have this provision that where our law is silent, or where our law sort of doesn't mention a certain subject, then of course the convention will apply directly. So we're always there. But having said that, one has to remember that when you have a Maltese flag, it's not just the MLC, it's not just the STCW, but it's the whole body of laws. So, in our criminal code, we already have provisions against violence and harassment,
Yes.
and those can be applied. So, in reality, we already have that implemented.
That's excellent. And it's really important for seafarers to know this, because not everybody knows. Sometimes you would think that because you are in a particular port, it is those laws which will apply, not remembering that the laws of the flag state of the boat you are working on also apply. So they really, certain research needs to be done and the right people contacted. So what I find amazing about the Malta Ship Registry is that it is a registry that is available 24/7. So that is something that owners, crew members and financiers should be aware of. And that is something you have really emphasized, right, as a registry?
I always think of the Malta Ship Registry, although, as I have said already, we are part of the government of Malta's structure, if you want, because at the end of the day, we are a governmental agency. We are, in a way, a boutique registry. Why? Because we give that direct and personal service to all our partners. I wouldn't even say clients, they are partners. I always consider our ship owners, our seafarers, and the financiers as our partners, because it is together that we make the success that we make. I mean, without each other, we cannot be where we are today.
And if I had to go specifically into the laws, I know that our Maltese Merchant Shipping Act is constantly evolving to keep up with all the international developments. One thing I know for sure is that the Maltese Commercial Yacht Code and the Small Commercial Yacht Code are both very practical codes, while at the same time setting standards which really promote a quality flag. It's not only seeking to protect crew, but also owners in ensuring they have a safe yacht, whether it's commercial or private. What do you have to say about our latest commercial yacht code, which was published this year, and the small commercial yacht code, which was published in 2024, Ivan?
So let's start from the small commercial yacht code. The small commercial yacht code was designed following the success of the commercial yacht code, because the commercial yacht code was a success. And however, we were listening, and as we always do, to the challenges being faced by small commercial yacht owners. And yes, it's not a one size fits all. So that we realized. So this is why we did the small commercial yacht code. And this proved very successful. Actually, we saw a large number of yachts being registered and also built and designed in accordance with the small commercial yacht code. Now, this year, we also launched, as you said, the updated commercial yacht code. Again, we always keep this balance in mind. It's our philosophy to be competitive yet compliant. And when I say compliant, it's not only compliant to the laws, it's also being compliant with all the safeties and all the procedures and all the equipment that there is to ensure that an owner at the end of the day will have a safe yacht, like you say.
And do you find that it's becoming more common for private yacht owners to choose to comply with codes, standards for their peace of mind, and also for them, in case in the future they decide to change the use of their boat to commercial, it's a swifter procedure, because the Malta flag offers that flexibility as well, where owners can have dual use, right? If they have all the requirements in place, they can easily switch the use of a yacht from pleasure to commercial, and the registry is extremely cooperative in that on owners' requests, as long as I mentioned.
As a procedure, it's very easy as well from our end to change from commercial to a pleasure yacht. It's very, very straightforward and easy process. So that is also supportive.
Great. And as a flag and a really reputable jurisdiction, what do you have in any future projects you would like to share?
So one of our major projects is the digitalization of the whole directorate of the registry. And when I say digitalization, it started basically, this has taken us into various parts of the project.
Yes.
So it wasn't like one project, it had to be split into different phases. So one of the major phases was to digitalize all the documents that we had. The physical documents had to be converted into a digital format.
Yes.
And stored, of course, in a way that made searching easy.
Yes.
So now we can say that part of the project has been done. Now we are in the, I would say, one of the final phases of the project, which is, I would guess I think it would be the biggest phase of the project, because we're seeing that this may take anything between a year and a half and 2 years, which is the building of the platform. So it has the digital architecture.
Yes.
That will serve as a front end to the customer.
Yes.
And as a back end for our personnel. So basically, this would be the, let's say, the workhorse of the registry, whereby the client can interact with the registry without the need of even coming to our offices. So you can communicate with our personnel through this front end, and our personnel can operate, can work literally with the same platform from the backend, communicate with the owner, and also process any application that there is. The software will also cater as a database, as a repository where one can search for information, can obtain certain data, certain details. Of course, certain data, of course, would be restricted, but it's going to cater for
Yes,
everything.
digital advancement is so important, but at the same time, you're going to remain a registry that
We
is
have-
available
we have to,
24/7,
we have
because that's
to.
the most important for peace of mind. I say to any owner, crew member, and financier, they want to know they can pick up the phone and get hold of the Malta Ship
So
Registry.
that is another thing that I was explaining to
Yes.
you a little bit before, when I said I'd like to see us as a boutique registry, because we have this personal touch with the client.
Definitely.
First of all, one of our weaknesses, if you want, is our biggest strength, which is the number of our personnel.
Yes.
One would imagine that with the position that we have, with the fleet that we have, that we are a big registry in terms of employees.
Yes.
We are just under 100. So the advantage is that we are situated in one building. So any decision maker is just one office away. So whenever anyone needs something, needs anything, all you need to do is knock on the door of your colleague. So we have that personal touch. And the same goes with our clients. So our clients have the faculty, if you want, of picking up the phone, dialing a number, and get directly to the decision maker without going through some call
This is a
center or
brilliant
through some
way you've been operating.
some other
Yes.
intermediary. So basically, you just pick up the phone, call the decision maker, and you have a decision taken there and then, of course, keeping the balance in mind between competition
Yes.
and compliance.
Yes, definitely. That's really important, Ivan, to highlight. Ivan, I don't want to keep you too much longer. And also, I wanted to tell our listeners that Ivan and I have been sitting here in the beautiful Samezu restaurant, which is at the Marina di Valletta, which is one of D-Marin's selection of premium marinas in the world. So I'd like to thank also Samezu and Marina di Valletta for hosting us to have this podcast here. Especially for us, we thought it would be so appropriate to be on the water. In fact, there's been quite a lot of movement here, boats entering the port, boats leaving, and it's just really showing off what Malta has to offer, not only as a reputable jurisdiction when it comes to flag, as a port state and flag state, but also as a destination for yachts to come here and enjoy the beautiful gem Malta is. Ivan, thank you so much for
Thank you
your
very
time
much.
as well. And I hope this isn't the last podcast together and interview. I hope
I'll
to see
be
you
glad.
also at
I'll
the
be glad.
Monaco Yacht Show next
I will.
month. And I know that you're going to have a very nice stand this year.
Yes,
and people
yes.
can come to visit you in person.
Of
Am I
course.
right?
We would be
So
more
that's
than happy to
really-
host anyone
So
on our stand.
any viewers who wish to meet Dr. Tabone in
Mm.
Monaco, he will be there. And
we will also be in Cannes as well.
and in Cannes before that.
Yes.
So fantastic. And as I mentioned throughout, the Malta Ship Registry is it's constantly evolving, but it is always there, despite digital advancement, it is always there to listen. So anybody can pick up the phone and contact them, and keep that up, Ivan, because it really makes Malta unique
Thank
as
you
a
very
registry. Thank you, especially to Transport Malta, the Merchant Shipping Directorate, which houses the Malta Ship Registry, because without them, this interview would not be possible either, because they are supporting the podcast as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you.
Malta, strategically located at the heart of the Mediterranean, is a leading maritime hub and service centre. An island nation with a vibrant maritime tradition, barely 6 nautical miles off the main Mediterranean sea route between Gibraltar and the Suez Canal. It boasts the largest shipping registry in Europe and one of the largest worldwide. The Malta Ship Registry strives for its clients to thrive in today's highly competitive market. Malta's legislation and procedures are simple and transparent, with a competitive simplified tonnage tax approved by the European Union. It maintains a strong relationship with other EU states and has established various agreements with most countries on port state control and merchant shipping. There are no restrictions on the nationality of the crew. There are double taxation avoidance treaties with over 60 countries, as well as competitive registration fees. All this while dealing with an effective, efficient, and approachable administration, backed by highly trained, experienced professionals who will guide, assist, and suggest bespoke solutions. Malta's Ship Registry inspires confidence. It is on the official list of low-risk ships of the Paris MOU and on its whitelist. Malta's economy and political environment are rock solid. It is attracting investors who have increasingly acknowledged Malta as a strategic base for their international activities. It is supported by a highly skilled workforce that is among the most competitive across the European Union and is also fluent in the English language. Malta is a safe place for business. The Malta Ship Registry inspires confidence.